Powered by Riverside.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of In-Laws and Out of Bounds. I am your host, Hagen. Sitting across from me here is our other host, Emilio, and we're excited to be back. What a weekend of football. Divisional rounds did not disappoint, other than that Seattle and San Francisco game. That was a blowout, but everything else was a great weekend, and that was a lot of fun. So we're here. We're ready to recap it, give our thoughts on it, all that good stuff. What do you think, Emilio? You got anything to say?
I think we're headed back to 2017, 2018 with the Rams and the Patriots both going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's the 10-year challenge of 2016, right? So we're going right back to that era, right? But, yeah, it looks like we're on the crash course for that. Before we get started, like we always say, go check out our social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Always putting out reels of these full episodes, just in case you miss some of it or you don't want to watch all of it. We put stuff out there, so go give us a follow, a like. We're powered by our good sponsors, Brewster Bird Hunts, as well. Make sure you go check them out on Facebook or Instagram, brewsterbirdhunts.com. They're the best in Texas if you want to go dove hunting, upland bird hunting, all that good stuff. They've got the best guides, the best birds. You're going to limit out every time. Doesn't matter if you're one hunter, 100 hunters, whatever it is, they'll take care of you. So go check them out. Give them a call. Follow them. Like I said, Facebook, Instagram, they're on all that stuff. They've been doing hunts here recently, so go check out what they've been able to do for some people. And if you're serious about it, give them a shout. So I think I've got everything that I need to say, all the house cleaning duties. I mean, there's nothing to do but just dive right into it. So let's do it. Right, like we talked about, like I said, big weekend of football. We're going to start with, we're just going to go down the list, how they played out. So the first game we had was the Bills traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos. This was an overtime game that we did not see coming. I don't think a lot of people saw coming, just as far as the score that it ended up being. We really had some doubts there of that Broncos offense being able to keep up with the Buffalo offense as well, and even with the Buffalo's injuries, and how injury riddled they were. It was really a little bit of a shocker to see, how well they were able to move the ball up and down the field. Now, Josh Allen, he put the Superman cape on. He continued to do what Josh Allen has done his whole career and put the team on his back. I really thought towards the end there that you were going to see him finish it off and be able to just like have this season that he's been needing to have and make his way to the AFC Championship, get to the Super Bowl, do these things. But at the end of the day, Josh wasn't able to put an end to it. He had multiple chances to get it done. They got down in the red zone where they had to settle for a field goal to put them up by 4 points. They had that screenplay where he threw a little short hopper. It hit the ground, bounced into the receiver's arms. He wasn't able to get it done there. And then they threw that pick in overtime and just wasn't able to get it done. He finished 25 of 39, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He added another 66 yards on the ground. He fumbled the ball twice. He fumbled the ball 3 times. He lost it twice out of that. James Cook had 24 carries for 117 yards. And Dalton Kincaid, he had 6 catches, 83 yards, 1 touchdown. You said that he was going to be a big deal in this. Now, he had a chance to have 2 touchdowns there. Allen missed him. He was wide open. He would have walked right into the end zone with like 10 seconds left, threw it right over him. That's another thing that we'll talk about there that was really tough. The Broncos, even though they got out of this, they didn't scave out of this very well. Bo Nix ended up breaking his ankle on the second to last play in overtime. So they are going to go into the AFC Championship game without their starting quarterback. He went 26 of 46, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He also led the Denver Broncos in rushing. He had 12 carries for 29 yards. So that's interesting there. Marvin Mims, usually the gadget player, led the way receiving 8 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown. They this was pretty shocking, just really how this drive really went out. Denver kind of got off to a early lead. They did get off to an early lead, putting it to Buffalo early. Sean McDermott, they came out and they really made some good second half adjustments, really getting on Bo Nix, not letting him get the ball down the field just as easy, putting that pressure on him, blitzing it, dialing him up a lot more. But man, for me, and I'm interested to hear your take on it, is really just it's what everybody's going to talk about. You're going to hear the Bo Nix stuff because he broke his ankle. And what are the Broncos doing forward? They're just going to move on from this game, and that narrative, it's all going to be about Josh Allen and what he didn't do, right? So interested to see what you have to say here on this.
I mean, to me, you kind of got what you needed out of James Cook for the Bills to win this game, and you're reading off those box scores, and I didn't even realize that the Broncos did absolutely nothing on the ground. So that's another thing that plays into the favor of, you would think the Bills would win this game, and despite all the lack of receivers and all the help, I think this is just we've said it before, you live and die with Josh Allen, and sometimes it's great and it's awesome, and sometimes it's 4 turnovers, and it's not unusual or uncharacteristic for him to have turnovers. I mean, that's been an issue of his. Early on in his career, it was interceptions, and then later in his career, it's him trying to extend plays for too long or him trying to do too much, and no plays ever dead. But to that token, sometimes it ends up biting him in the ass. Now, for whatever reason, this was the weekend for turnovers, so it wasn't unusual for this weekend either. There was lots of turnovers. So, I don't know, man. For me, it's hard to put this all on Josh Allen because all season long you wouldn't be in this position at all without him. So to throw the blame on him completely is, unfair. I mean, to me, it's a team sport, and they had parts of their team that lacked depth, lacked talent, and they knew it. They didn't address it very well. And you run into teams that are solid. I mean, this Broncos team with Bo Nix, on a good day, which Saturday was a good day for them, they're a very dangerous team because that offense came to play. When that offense comes to play, they're a very hard team to beat because you know what you get with that defense. So it's a team sport. It's always going to be a team sport. Yeah, he's the guy that everything rests on because he's your MVP. He's the franchise. But to that token, I can't think of one Super Bowl contending team or one dominant team that didn't have at least some sort of ammunition around an MVP. It's not basketball where, one guy is going to take you to the Super Bowl or to an NBA championship. You're not going to necessarily win it, but you can get there with just one guy. There's only 5 on the court. It's different on a football team. You have 11 on each side of the ball, so you can't expect one guy to get you there year after year after year. And to my point, that hasn't happened for them. So at some point, the Bills got to commit. They kind of offloaded everything last year after they fizzled out, and you thought that it was going to be a rebuilding year. And they kind of reloaded, but didn't reload everywhere. So, this is kind of, again, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes type of thing. And I think it's unfair for people to say this is on Josh Allen. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. Whenever your leading receiver is Dalton Kincaid, who's, sometimes he's there and sometimes he's not because he's injured, it's unfair. And yeah, they have James Cook, and James Cook had a hell of a day, but you need something else when you get this deep into the playoffs. Everybody's got a scheme, everybody's got a plan, and if you don't have enough weapons, it gets difficult.
Yeah. Let's listen to an emotional Josh Allen here after the game, talking about just how this season and everything went here.
Can't win with 5 turnovers. I fumbled twice, threw 2 picks. When you shoot yourself in the foot like that, you don't deserve to win football games.
Hey, Josh, having said that, does it add the frustration, kind of the way the game ended with a couple of questionable calls?
Yeah, I mean, losing that way regardless, losing in the playoffs is not fun.
So Allen definitely shooken up there. Had tears in his eyes and all that good stuff when he came to the podium. It's hard. We talk about or you mentioned that you can't put it all on him. Now, if they would have won, he would have got all the glory, right? So I think you have to hand it. It has to go hand in hand here, right? The biggest thing is that he didn't make the play when he was needed the most. Now, you are correct. If he wasn't there all season, Buffalo would have never been in this position to begin with. He is the reason that they scored 30 points. They did not do a good job whatsoever of addressing the lack of weapons. And I think that goes back to looking at something that they're going to have to look at in the offseason as far as an organization in Buffalo, and just look themselves in the mirror and say, hey, did we really put our best foot forward to make sure that we were going to, had a chance to win it all, especially in a year where, you didn't see a Mahomes or a Burrow in the playoffs, and you look around and the two teams that are playing in the AFC Championship game now. Obviously, you had a really good shot to beat the number 1 seed. You've already beaten the Patriots. You split, 1-1 there. So going into that game, you'd have had a really good opportunity to beat that team and then move on to the Super Bowl. I don't know. That's hard. That's a lot to think about there, and for them to be in that position and miss out again this year. That's got to be really tough as a Bills fan. They talk about the questionable calls at the end of the game. This one's going to be talked about huge as far as you go back, and they bring up every single catch that has been an issue, right? You go to the Calvin Johnson catch that originally happened that got the rules changed. You got the Des Bryant catch, right? You have multiple catches that happen. That one where Brandon Cooks and McMillan at the end of the game, that's a catch, is it not?
I mean, my thing is that even after the rule change, the most emphasis you get is the tie always goes to the receiver.
It's not a catch. I mean, that it's really weird. Obviously, Sean Payton was asked about that. Here's what he had to say on here as well.
Your angle on the interception that J-Mac made.
The last one?
Yeah.
It's perfect. 2 things happened. There's actually a hold in the end zone. That would have been the first time the game would have ended with a safety when DJ just gets completely. But the throw's made, the catch is being made, but the catch isn't secured. And so in these playoff games, you have officials. If the catch was secured, it wouldn't have been an interception. So as it's not secured and we get it, it's our ball. It was an amazing play.
So that's the argument that's going to be made on the other side. Obviously, Sean Payton, it works in his favor, so he wants to say it was secured. But, yeah, it's wild. I don't see how you can rule that towards the defense favor on that part. By all intents and purposes, in my opinion and eyes, it looked like Brandon Cooks had that ball. And that would have set the the Bills up with, 1st and goal, I believe. Was that where it went, or the 15-yard line, somewhere in there? Completely different game that we're talking about at that point. We're sitting here talking about the Bills winning and moving on to the AFC Championship with their best chance to go to the Super Bowl. But here we are. We, another disappointing for the Bills. They're going to have a lot to look at there. And it's going to be a tough hill to climb back up next year when they try to come back. Josh is going to be a year older. So is James Cook. What does that wide receiver core look like? Their defense is still going to have some question marks as well. They'll get Milano back. I think Bosa was a year rental. There's probably a lot of holes that they're going to have to go look at and try to plug and play and get this team back to just the divisional round to begin with.
The Bills have kind of been in that weird little space that the Saints were in there for a while, where you keep getting these 1-year rentals because you feel like you already have a veteran squad that can be a championship team, and you keep adding these guys and you just exchange them year after year. And eventually you got to commit and start with the draft. And I don't know how close they are to doing that because, I mean, obviously they're close still, but as a Saints fan who's seen it live and up front, when you continue to not get there, and then finally they decide to let it blow out, boy, does it suck.
Yep.
So they got some potential suck ahead of them.
Yeah. I mean, as long as Allen's there, you're always going to have a chance, but it could be some tough chances for sure. So the Broncos are going to move on. They going back to the AFC Championship game for the first time since 2016, 10-year drought. Let's see. Without a Bo Nix, you're going to get Jared Stidham that's going to be starting quarterback, and Sean Payton has all the faith in him. So we'll see what that looks like here. But let's get on to our second game. Second game of the night was not nearly as exciting as any of the other three of the whole weekend. You had San Francisco 49ers who traveled up the coast to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. And, man, the Seahawks literally the first play of the game took it back to the house, and they never looked back. San Francisco looked like they were going to have a couple opportunities there to possibly make it a game. They got into scoring positions, had to settle for field goals. They had some turnovers. And then Christian McCaffrey went down. You started seeing, hey, these playmakers aren't actual playmakers. That crowd in Seattle was really crazy. Went really wild. Sam Darnold was 12 of 17, 124 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Kenneth Murray led the way rushing, 19 carries for 116 yards and 3 touchdowns. They ran for 175 yards as a team. And, Jackson Smith and Jigba only had 3 catches for 19 yards and 1 touchdown. So when those guys when he has such a small game, you win by 30, 35 points, that's pretty bananas. Brock Purdy, 15 to 27, 140 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. He also led the way rushing, 5 carries, 37 yards, no touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey only had 11 carries on the night, 35 yards. And their leading receiver was Jake Tondres, 5 catches, for 59 yards. Let's listen to the man that made us eat some crow here and just talk about really how the game went, how the atmosphere was, all that kind of good stuff here. Here's Sam Darnold on the win.
Obviously, a good team win. Really good team win from the first snap. The kickoff, that guy taking it to the house, man, that was special. To hear that stadium too, rocking the way Lemon was tonight, unbelievable, man. The 12s came out. It was fun. Our defense doing their thing, and as an offense too, like the ball control, I feel like that was huge for us all game, and finishing in the red zone. We harped on that, these last couple weeks of working, and I feel like we just controlled the football and finished in the red zone, and that was the story tonight.
First of all, how do you like the whole that guy taking it to the house? I mean, you don't even know your damn teammate's name.
Rashid Shaheed, he was a mid-season acquire.
He maybe not. I can't even say that name. No. There's not much to talk about here. The Niners were a depleted team. They got even worse as it went on, and Seattle, they proved us wrong, right?
Yep. If somebody would have told me that Christian McCaffrey was going to hurt his shoulder before the second half ended, I would have suspected that the Seahawks would win, because at that point you literally have all eyes on Brock Purdy with nobody to throw to. So this was thoroughly disappointing. Congrats to the Seahawks. Great win. Did what you needed to with a team that fell apart. So legitimately fell apart, not metaphorically.
Yeah.
So the Seahawks are going to move on, and we'll see. I'm still not convinced. That was a great win, but you look at the box score you just read off, and, if that's a healthy Niners team, I think the score is the opposite direction with that box score that you read off.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it'd be 41-6 the other way, but I do think it would be like a 35-20 or something.
Yeah.
Really, I think if it was a true healthy Niners team, that would be a complete different game. And you got to get lucky. You got to have some breaks every now and then, but to have a whole damn bye week break, essentially, what they had, that's a little unfair in that, aspect. I don't know. You got to play the games. All you can do is play the games that are in front of you, and the teams are in front of you, right? San Francisco went to Philadelphia. They beat the Eagles. They earned the right to do it. I tell you, as a Cowboys fan, there's nothing more that makes me happy than to see the Niners beat the Eagles one week and then totally go and get their ass whooped the next week. So, you know what I mean? For the Cowboys fan in me, hallelujah. But, yeah, we'll see what the Seahawks are made of the next game. There's not much else to say here on this game. They just completely whipped a depleted Niners team's ass and left them, and they should have just stayed in San Francisco. It'd have been better for them.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I mean,
I got nothing to say about this game.
Yeah, it's pretty. I'm sorry, guys. If you're looking for more intel, there, you're gonna have to go watch somebody else because it was just a complete annihilation. This is I'll tell you, this is the first time Shanahan. He's always either he's either missed the playoffs as a head coach or he's gotten into the playoffs and gone all the way to the Super Bowl as a head coach. So this is a first for him, getting into the playoffs, losing a divisional round. We'll see what this Niners team can do if they can come back and get healthy. It seems like every year they're trying to get healthy again. They're just going to get older and older as these as these years go, especially, what's going to happen with Kittle. That's a long road from recovery, especially happened so late in the season. Fred Warner's obviously going to be ready to come back, when the season comes around. But there's a lot that you got to get going there. They're not going to have a wide receiver one going into next year, more than likely, with Brandon Ayuk, wanting out of there.
Whatever happened?
He wanted to trade. I think everything fizzled. Nobody wanted to give, he got that huge contract, and nobody wanted to give a first-round pick for him because he's not a true wide receiver one. And, so we'll see. They got a lot to figure out. But, yeah. Man, our Sunday games, they were fun. First, it started off with the Houston Texans traveling over to New England to take on the Patriots, and man, this Texans defense, they were for real, and they showed it, but their offense sure as hell didn't show up. And CJ Stroud, he's got a lot of explaining to do, right? He threw 4 interceptions, and all 4 of those interceptions came in the fourth quarter, and this team still had an opportunity to come back and take a lead in this game, win this game multiple times. That defense is superior. It was led by Will Anderson. He did really well. But CJ Stroud, he just held this team back horribly. He was 20 of 47, 212 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. Woody Marks led the way rushing, 14 carries for 17 yards. Your top rusher. They ran the ball for 48 yards as a team. Jaden Higgins was your leading receiver, 6 catches for 59 yards. The defense, that was really the big one. They came away with 5 sacks on the day, and it's not giving me here, but I know Will Anderson had 3 sacks, and he had 2 forced fumbles out of those sacks as well. So that team came to play. On the other side, Drake May was 16 of 27, 179 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That interception came at the end of the first half on a Hail Mary that was thrown. So he played a really clean game for the most part. Rhamondre Stevenson, 16 carries, 70 yards, no touchdowns. Kayshon Boutte, 3 catches, 75 yards, and 1 ridiculous one-handed touchdown. Stephon Diggs also had a touchdown to add there. And then on their side, they were able to generate a lot of pressure as well too. But yeah, they have this Texans offense was really what held them back the whole time. Listening here to D'Amico Ryans just talking about just the disappointment here.
Things don't go your way. You have bad performances. It's not a time to point fingers or say it's on one person. If anybody, it all starts with me. For me, as the head coach of this team, we didn't perform well. Obviously, I didn't have our guys, ready to go in this moment. So that starts with me. We stick together. Things don't go your way.
Do you agree or disagree, or can you point at one person here?
I mean, you can point at one person pretty strong. Well, I mean, there's 5 guys that are supposed to block for him, but, I mean, you can pretty much point at one person. Jesus. I mean, this guy, shout out to my boy, Josh Alvarez, the only other person I know that throws 4 picks and a half. Jalen Hurts, CJ Stroud, and Josh Alvarez. So, dude,
Friendly shot fired.
This was probably the worst time for him to have his worst game of the season, and he's had some real stinkers. And this was, I mean, he did throw a touchdown. I did see that. That was it was a hell of a throw to Marcus Jones, and he took it back to the house on a pick six. That was a hell of a pass. But I mean, he couldn't do anything. Nope. And I get it; the elements play a big factor into it, but you can't blame it all on the elements. There was some pretty dry periods there for a bit where it was just snow, which Troy Aikman kept saying, I wasn't good in the weather either, but, the snow's coming down now, so it should get easier, and it seemed like it just kept getting harder.
Yeah.
And you can't run the ball. And that finally caught up to them. They were able to get some yards on the ground last week. They had no luck this week. I think Nico Collins not being there played a small factor, and then Dalton Schultz getting hurt early on played a factor. But at some point in time, I think they have a decision, and it's pretty clear and obvious now that CJ Stroud is probably not going to get back to what he was his rookie year. I would like to see him go get a revival somewhere like Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold have gotten. Maybe send his ass to Minnesota, learn how to play in the cold.
I don't think he's going to get a revival because everybody's still talking about, and a lot of them are trolls and memes and stuff, but you have people talking about, CJ Stroud now has more playoff wins than Dak Prescott. I mean, he didn't do a damn thing to get those playoff wins, especially the last one last week, right? I mean, so yeah, that comes into the effect when you're really looking at, you talk about Josh Allen too, right? It's a team game, and now I'm going to go on my Prescott defense here, and I don't mean to because it has nothing to do with anything, but it goes both ways. It goes hand in hand too, right? I think about, all the quarterbacks that – hell, think about Peyton Manning when he won his second Super Bowl. He was a damn noodle out there, right? I mean, he didn't even do it. Look at who was the quarterback for the Ravens in 2000 when they won?
Trent Dilfer?
Trent Dilfer, right? I mean, Dilfer could –
Dilfer was a dog. You have some respect, man.
I'll give Trent Dilfer some respect. He ain't going toe-to-toe with everybody, right, out there. There's a lot there that, I mean –
I think that's
just do the bare minimum, right?
Is like the expectation to win a game, score 20 points, and they'll win the game. The defense will do the rest.
Yeah.
Instead, this son of a bitch is giving away 7 points. I mean,
I know. Yeah, he's giving them 7 points, right? If he doesn't throw that damn pick, now it got batted in the air. Yeah, whatever. But you give him 7 points. You held them to 28. Or you held them to 21 as a defense. You're right there. They had to settle for some field goals. If they just could have punched another one into the end zone and kept going, I mean, I don't know. You could have taken momentum away for sure. It got to 16-21 at one point. If they were able to get that ball into the end zone and make it 21-21, the way the Patriots would have come out and played, and I think that defense would have been able to play, with their ears pinned back a little more than getting the run and all that back and forth, it would have completely changed the game. I mean, obviously it would have changed the game, but just that defensive psyche, I think there's only so many times that you can go out there and make all these plays, and then your offense just completely suck it up, and you're like, we got to go back out here and do it again. We got to go do it again, and I don't know. Kudos to the Patriots. They've turned it around. They, the past two seasons, they were 3-14 at one point and then 4-13 at another point. Vrabel's come in here and he's completely, yes, he came into a second-year Drake May and they were able to add Diggs, but they were a bad team last year. Your record is, you are what you say your record is, but he's able to come in and really bring that hard, physical, discipline mentality and turn this team around quite a bit. They asked Drake May, what he thought about Vrabel and how he treats him, and here, let's listen to what he said.
Obviously, Coach Vrabel gets a lot of credit for establishing what's here, started going back to when he was hired. Talk about what he's meant for you personally, what has he done for Drake May to make you a better player?
Yeah, I think he challenges me. He challenges me, really every day. Every day in practice, every day, and every time I come back from the sideline from a drive, he's always got something to say, and it's not like it's something that's usually meaningful and that's worth something. So just trying to listen to him, absorb as much as I can. I know he's played in some big games like this, so it's cool when you can see kind of his emotion on his face when he's not even playing. He's coaching, and how much he cares for us, how much he cares for each of us personally. And I think he just pushes me to be the best I can be. And he's got a sarcasm that I haven't really figured out 100% yet. He's got a little tough sarcasm where I want to laugh, but you don't really want to.
So he's obviously Vrabel's come in and he's given these guys a lot of confidence to play physical and play free. And having somebody like that's been there, done that, especially who played under a Belichick, and then he's had success before in Tennessee when they were able to go to the AFC Championship at one point and almost get to the Super Bowl and do those things. Having somebody that can come in to maybe have all the pieces that were right there, but Jordan Mayo wasn't able to put it together and get it going. It's a big thing, and I think we have to give a lot of credit to Vrabel on taking this team and turning them around so quick. One of the quickest rebuilds that we've seen in a long time, and putting the Patriots, right there to get back to the Super Bowl. That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a player's coach, a guy that's been there, I feel like it makes it easier when you look at these two teams alone. Both coaches that played for those respective franchises and saw success were both very good at what they did as players. And I think whenever you have young teams like this, it makes it easier because, these young guys that, oh, this is a bunch of bullshit. What are we listening to this old ass man for? And you don't get that because this is a guy that, went through all this nonsense that you think is stupid. So I think there's a lot of credit there that you get whenever you've been through it and you go and you set the expectation level, and you can do that without being nervous or worried about it because you've been through it and they know you've been through it. Hell, Mike Vrabel's, I remember seeing him on the little Sports Illustrated right after they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's cool to see. It's cool to see these player coaches. I mean, getting their teams to success.
Yeah, no, it's great, and I've enjoyed watching Vrabel. I always enjoyed watching him before too. I think he's got a really great personality. You see him on the Bussin' with the Boys stuff with Lawan or Taylor and Will Compton, and see his personality as it comes out. I think he's good for the game of football, and he's obviously a great fit for the Patriots, and I think they're going to be successful for years to come. Unfortunately, but
yeah.
That's great. So we're going to see the Patriots travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. This is, we're back to a little bit of normalcy, I guess you would say, with the way it used to be. The way it used to be. So we'll see what happens there. That's going to be a fun game. I think it's unfortunate that Bo Nix isn't going to be playing, so it may get a little bit out of hand here, but we'll see what happens. So, yep. On to the next. Our last game, the one that just wrapped up, the one that was probably one of the wilder ones for sure. You see the Los Angeles Rams go into Chicago and take down the Bears in overtime, 20-17. This game was way lower scoring than I anticipated. I know that it was snowing for majority of the game, or at least all of the game, but still thought that we would see a little more points get put on the board. Matthew Stafford is able to get it done there at the end. Caleb Williams on a 4th and 4 from the 15-yard line takes a snap, drops back, keeps dropping back, then drops back some more, turns around at the 40-yard line, chunks it to the corner of the end zone, and lo and behold, drops into the hands of Cole Kmet to get the game-tying touchdown to send them into overtime. And then Stafford and the Rams go through. They don't go 3 and out, but they go and they punt. Williams gets the ball. They drive down the field, and then Caleb Williams makes a bad decision, throws it over, and Curl for the Rams picks him off, and the rest is history. Stafford turns around, goes down the field, makes some pretty big throws. One to Devontae Adams on the sideline. Good to see him get involved. And they that fat ass kicker comes out on the field and he puts it through the uprights. And the Rams move on and they're going to go to Seattle. So man, that whole boy's big. There's a fat son of a bitch. I was texting Javi, and Javi's like, "Yeah, he killed that thing." I said, "Yeah, he's got a lot of damn weight to put behind it, so he better have." So, anyways, Matthew Stafford, he went 20 of 42, 258 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Kyron Williams ran the ball 21 times for 87 yards. They ran the ball for 111 yards as a team, 2 touchdowns, both of them by Kyron Williams. And then Kobe Parkinson, surprise, surprise, was actually the lead receiver here, 3 catches for 56 yards. Puka Nacua did tie him there with yardage, and he had 2 more catches than him. Man, I'm going to tell you what, Puka Nacua, that guy is a freaking ball player, man. He blocks hard. He runs hard. The one thing that really impressed me is they needed it was a 4th and 1 that they ran there towards the end of the game where – they didn't want to settle for a field goal, and thankfully they didn't because that would have lost the game for them. But they ran a little speedy sweep, and he went to the outside. And once he got right outside that edge defender, he knew where he was, and he just turned it upfield, knowing that he was going to get blasted. He just put his head down, and he took a freaking lick, and he got the first down. I feel like most wide receivers in that position, if that was to happen, I think most of us see it all the time where you're right there at the 1-yard line. They run sideways versus vertically, and you end up getting tackled. They try to make a move, try to dance around, do a spin move, and they get tackled. He just turned up the field, took a hit. You could see it affected him a little bit, but he just got up and, away they went, and they were able to get it in that either that next play or the play after with Kyron Williams running it off the right-hand side there and getting it into the end zone. But that was great for them to see that. Puka's great. On the other side, Caleb Williams, 23 of 42, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That, man, turning the ball over, it kills you. It just kills you there. DeAndre Swift led the way, rushing 19 carries, 76 yards, no touchdowns. And then Colson Loveland was the leading receiver, 4 catches, 56 yards, no touchdowns. The Bears, they can't get it done. You turn the ball over. There was some turnover on downs early in the games. They just shoot themselves in the foot. I think it comes down to what we talked about a lot is youth versus experience. Los Angeles, they didn't have their best day, but they didn't hurt themselves, and they made the plays when they needed to. So, yeah.
Yeah, there was a long stretch of this game where it seemed like the Bears were just having their way with them on the ground and moving the ball, moving the chains. And I look up and score's only 10-10. So I'm like, well, what the hell are the Bears actually accomplishing? Because, it felt like they were winning the game. And then you look and they're not winning. They're just moving the ball for no apparent reason, really. The Rams just find a way to win. That's what they do. They're too hard to stop for 4 quarters. You add an extra quarter, they're still just as difficult. So I think the defense needs to pick it up a little bit if they really want to go on a run. But when they need them, they're there. You get 3 picks, so they're doing something right. That they're a little soft on the run, which could hurt them. Seattle has a very strong ground game with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. I think Charbonnet got banged up, but I'm sure he'll be back. But yeah, you mentioned it. Puka plays with a reckless abandon that most wide receivers don't play with. And then you have Devontae Adams, who's a problem if you don't have eyes on him. They're just so versatile, and they can do it so many different ways. I told you Blake Corum was experienced running in the snow. He did all right. Kyron Williams showed up. They find a way to get it done. And for the Bears, hell of a season. Hell of a season. I had no expectations for the Bears to be where they were this year. Maybe in a couple years, I was thinking maybe with a different quarterback. They might still be thinking with a different quarterback, but I think what they have there, they have something to build on, and the Bears could be a problem to come. But again, the experience just took over. Matthew Stafford, absolute dog, and turns out he can win in the cold. So there's that.
Yeah, 100%. No, I think if you're Ben Johnson in Chicago, you have to look at it as a positive for the season. First year as a head coach, he comes out, wins the NFC North. He has a lot to build on. Chicago finally has a quarterback for the first time in a very long time, and they have a lot to build on there. They have weapons. They've got Kyle, some young guy or whatever his name is, and they've got some really strong running backs. They've got a good defense that they can continue to build on and add some pieces in the draft. But Matthew Stafford is just going to try to continue to write his perfect end of his career, right?
Yeah.
He looks like he's, by all intents and purposes, going to win the MVP for the regular season, try to get to the Super Bowl, cap it off with the Super Bowl victory, and then maybe ride off into the sunset. I don't know. I mean, I don't think that's a for sure and foregone conclusion there, but I think that it's definitely quite a possibility. And I'll tell you that I'm happy to see Chicago out of the playoffs, just so I don't have to open my Facebook anymore and see a bunch of damn Chicago guys going to the damn nail salon and getting their fucking fingernails painted, because Jesus Christ, guys, what are we doing?
You gotta get off that, man.
Dude, quit painting your damn fingernails. Come on. Anyways, I'll get off of it, but I'm
Mr.
whatever.
Gaffney Sr. is from Chicago. Come on.
Yeah, I know. But he's still a Cowboys fan. He probably, you know what? I'm going to have to ask him if he likes to paint his fingernails too. He's going to kick my ass when he sees me. Take it back. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I think it's going to be – Chicago has nothing to hold their head low for. There was just – they didn't make the plays when they needed to. It's the gunslinger mentality. He turned around. He made that big play to get the game tying touchdown. Then he tried to make a throw that he saw a little late, and it ended up costing him and never got the ball back. So tough break for Caleb Williams there, but I'm excited to see Matthew Stafford continue to go on. They're going to go to Seattle, where they have played the Seahawks pretty tight. Both games have been decided with less than 2 points, I think. Well, the first game, it was 21-19. The Rams won. And then the second game, it was, 38-37 that the Seahawks won, and it was in overtime. So both games have been extremely close. They both have weapons on each side. Their defensive play are opportunistic, and they play really hard. So it's going to be fun to see. I think that's a great game. And then potentially going into the Super Bowl, I mean, look at the matchups. You can get another Patriots-Ram Super Bowl. Last time we saw that one, it wasn't super thrilling. It was 13-3, but completely different teams there. A Rams-Broncos Super Bowl, I think that'd be interesting. Or you can get a Patriots-Seahawks that we've seen before, or a Broncos-Seahawks that we've seen before as well. So a couple classic Super Bowl matchups there that would be interesting to see. But, yeah, I don't know. I think there's that Broncos team it's just bad luck, bad timing. Bo Nix is going to have surgery on Tuesday. He's having it in Birmingham, and there's just no chance for him coming back. So for there, but I think everybody else escaped the weekend pretty injury-free, thankfully. You really do hate to see team star players go down, especially at this time of the year. That's terrible, because if the Broncos do come out and lay a goose egg, it's going to be what could have been, and you just don't want to see
it. Hurt when he was trying to kneel the ball? Is that what I saw?
I thought I heard that. I don't know exactly when he got hurt. I didn't look into it hard enough, but somebody said, I think it was somewhere when he was, it was before he threw the touchdown to Mims. So I don't know. Yeah. Or threw that pass to Mims is when he got hurt. I think that's what Sean Payton said. So I don't. Yeah. So, anyways,
they better figure out that run game a little bit, though.
Yeah, they need to get R.J. Harvey going a little better.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be easier said than done, because they haven't been able to do that well when they've done it well or consistently. Yeah. So, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, those are our divisional games, and they were all good except the Saturday night one. They easily could have played the college national championship game Saturday night, and avoided having something that we could turn the TV off on. But we're looking forward to that coming Monday tonight. It's Sunday night, so you'll hear this tomorrow, but it's going to be Monday night. That's going to be a lot of fun. We both still sticking with Indiana on this one here. Close game.
Not moving it.
Yeah, I'm not moving it either. So that'll be a lot of fun. We'll probably get on afterwards. Maybe we'll see. And talk about that. If not, we'll come back early and recap that game in the college football season and go into the offseason there talking about transfers. Do a couple way too early favorites for the national championship and Heisman and some stupid takes that we'll look back on and say we're a bunch of idiots for picking that. But, yeah, all the fun stuff. So, anyways, we appreciate you guys. Is there anything else you want to say here, Emilio?
Nope. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Yep. Tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun. Conference championship games are going to be a lot of fun. We'll pick those. We'll preview them, and we'll go from there. So we appreciate you guys sitting through with us and listening to this. Always appreciate the support. Like we said, go check out our social media page. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Here on Spotify, give us a 5-star rating, hopefully, and a follow. And tell your friends, family, all that stuff to come check us out. And Brewster Bird Hunts, check them out too. Give them a like and a follow and show some love around. So if that's all we got, that's all we got. So anyways, all right, guys, well, enjoy your week. Enjoy the college football national championship, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget Jesus loves you, and peace.